Alright, this video will go into detail about the supporting detail sentences. And the goal for this video is that by the end, you should have some ideas of how to expand your supporting detail sentences and elaborate upon them. Okay, so we'll start by reminding you that when you see the pencil or the highlighter, you need to actually do writing or highlighting in your notes. Use the rule of 5, get it down in your own words, and then pause as often as you need to. But make sure that you're pausing when the pause button pops up. So when you are writing a paragraph, after you have your topic sentence, you need to have at least 2 to 3 main supporting detail sentences. You don't want too much more than that, and you definitely don't want less than that. Otherwise, you're not going to create a big picture for the reader, or you'll simply have too much. So what do those detail sentences look like? Well, those supporting detail sentences should, and here you're writing in your notes because there's the pencil, support or explain the topic sentence, and they need to be different and distinct from each other. That means that they're not redundant. Redundant means that it's repetitive. Let's take a look at some examples of supporting detail ideas after you pause and finish taking notes on this. Alright, so if your topic sentence is, "My mom is the best," you may have these supporting details in your paragraph. You may talk about how she cooks great food, how she takes you different places, how she listens to you, and how she helps you get where you need to go. Well, that last one kind of sounds like the second one. Taking you different places is kind of the same as helping you get to where you need to go. So we're not going to use that one because it's redundant and it's already stated once. After your supporting detail sentences, you want to include another kind of sentence called elaboration sentences. These are going to give more specific details about the supporting detail sentences. These sentences should, and again, you're taking notes because there's the pencil, provide the reader with more specific details about each supporting detail. So it's kind of like saying more about the idea. It will help readers visualize or see the picture in their head. They're going to get enough information to do that. And it will also very much improve the quality of your writing, and therefore your grade. Pause and get those ideas written down in your notes. Remember to use the rule of 5. So let's look at an example. If we take those same 3 supporting details for the topic sentence, "My mom is the best," what might the elaboration look like? Well, if she cooks you great food, maybe your next sentence could be something about how her spaghetti is divine and her tacos are amazing. After you give the sentence about how she takes you different places, your next sentence could talk about the places that she takes you to, like sporting events or shopping. After you state your sentence about how she listens to you, you could include another sentence that might tell about that one time in 6th grade when she really listened to you about the situation that you had with a friend. Okay, so let's look at an example paragraph, and we're going to do some highlighting. So there's our highlighter. We're going to highlight the topic sentence in red, highlight the supporting details in orange, highlight the sentences that provide elaboration in green, and highlight the concluding sentence in blue. All right, here's our paragraph. You should have one in your guided notes. I'm going to read through the paragraph briefly and then go back and start identifying. So it says, "Our family loves to celebrate Thanksgiving. To start, all of our relatives come over to our house. Some come in the car and some come on airplanes. My mom spends hours shopping for and cooking all the food. We have roasted golden brown turkey, apples, stuffing, and my favorite, garlic mashed potatoes. After dinner, my 3 cousins and I wash the dishes. While we are cleaning up, the men start watching football on TV. Finally, after dinner, we play password. My aunt and I are pretty good at it and almost always win. I wish Turkey Day came more than once a year." All right, let's go back to our first sentence. Our family loves to celebrate Thanksgiving. There's our topic sentence. Tells us that our subject is Thanksgiving, and the controlling idea is that our family loves to celebrate it. The next sentence should be the first supporting detail, an explanation of why your family loves to celebrate Thanksgiving. So in orange, we've highlighted to start off, all of our relatives come over to our house. So that's one thing that shows that they love to celebrate it because they get together. The next sentence should elaborate, should say something else about the relatives coming over to the house. So the next one, some come in the car and some come on airplanes. Yeah, that tells us more about how they come to the house. So we're going to do that in green because it's elaborating. Now the next sentence could be orange or it could be green. It depends on the sentence. If the sentence is a new idea about how the family loves to celebrate Thanksgiving, then it's going to be in orange, a supporting detail sentence. If it's more about how the relatives come over to the house, then it needs to be in green because it's still elaborating. So let's read it. My mom spends hours shopping for and cooking all of the food. Well, that sounds like a different supporting detail sentence. So we're going to highlight that in orange. We're no longer talking about how the relatives come over. Then the next sentence, we have roasted golden brown turkey, apple stuffing, and my favorite, garlic mashed potatoes. If that is explaining or elaborating about the sentence that mom spends hours shopping and cooking, then it's going to be green. If it's a different idea, it's going to be orange. So decide which color that is, highlight it, and then continue on to the rest of the paragraph, highlighting in red, orange, green, or blue, depending on the kind of sentence it is. Pause and take care of that. All right, so let's check it out. We had the first four sentences. The next one, we have roasted golden brown turkey, was green because it elaborates more about shopping. The sentence, after dinner, my three cousins and I washed dishes, that's a new idea, so we put it in orange. And then what happens while they wash the dishes is going to be green because it's elaborating. Then playing password is a new idea supporting the topic sentence. And the fact that the aunt and the writer are good at it and win says more about that, so that's going to be green. And finally, the last one is our good concluding sentence. So the supporting details of the paragraph, all those orange ones, should be that all of the relatives came. Mom spends time preparing a yummy meal. The third one is after dinner cleanup with cousins, and then finally playing password as a family. The sentences that are highlighted in green are the elaboration of the supporting details. They expand or say more about them. Now, it's important that you not be a thief. Now, what that means is that some writers have trouble making the elaboration actually helpful. They've got 3 good supporting detail sentences, but then what comes after them is not, it robs the voice of writing. So we don't want to do that. And rob stands for, here's where you're taking notes because there's the pencil, repetitive elaboration, obvious elaboration, boring elaboration, or simple or very vague, meaning not specific elaboration. Pause and make sure you get those words written down. So what does repetitive, obvious, boring, and simple elaboration look like? Let's take a look. Our family loves to celebrate Thanksgiving. To start, all of our relatives come over. It's so much fun. Next, my mom cooks the food. It's also yummy and fun. Finally, we play password. It's so much fun. My aunt and I win. Definitely my family loves to celebrate Thanksgiving. If you'll notice, all of the sentences in green, it's so much fun, it's also yummy and fun, it's so much fun. Very repetitive, doesn't give really that much new information, if any new information at all, and it really pulls down the quality of the paragraph. So what do we do instead? Well, you want to make it yours. Good writing will have supporting details and elaborations that give your writing voice. This means the readers feel like they really understand what you're trying to say. Good supporting details and elaborations should be, pencil, you're taking notes, varied. That means that there's lots of different kinds of supporting details, but they are all on topic. Again, on topic, interesting, clear, and exact, meaning they're very specific. It's just the kind of information that will make it more interesting and clear to the reader. Let's look at another example after you finish writing these down. Okay, so as we go through this, look at how those elaboration sentences add ideas and voice to the writing. While many Americans have fun traditions for Thanksgiving, my family specializes in having a great time. In our family, it begins by getting all the relatives together. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins all gather at our house for the big day. Some come by car, some come by airplane, but everyone shows up. My mom begins shopping and cooking the week before to prepare the traditional feast. Roasted turkey, apple stuffing, potatoes and gravy, and of course pumpkin pie make a delicious meal that fills all of us to the brim. My dad has to loosen his belt by the end of the meal. After dinner, my cousins and I clear the table and do the dishes, while the men in the family all retire to the family room for the NFL football game. This year the Broncos are playing, which will cause a great deal of cheering and shouting at the TV. The day ends with a competitive game of password. We have the same teams every year, pairing up an adult and a kid. My Aunt Marcia and I usually hold our own. It's a great game that has helped me build my vocabulary. Our family enjoys many activities on Turkey Day, but being together is the best part of all. So as you notice, the difference often between a proficient and a higher quality piece of writing is really the details in those elaboration sentences, the ones that are in green, that really help you understand what exactly the writer is trying to say. All right, so we're going to be doing the summary and the hot question, and when you have that done, make sure that they're complete and submit them to Schoology. Don't forget to save them in Kami before you do that.